we must say, because I've listened very keenly to Senator Cherargei, and I don't interrupt people when they are talking, even when they tear me apart. I mean, he has said that those of us that are on this other side, that we are sensing defeat, that Ruto's re-election is a sure bet. Trevor, Senator Cherargei is a smart person. He is a trained lawyer. He can be able to do some calculations. Where will President Ruto get the votes? President Ruto won over Raila Odinga by a margin of about 200 and something thousand votes. President Ruto has lost all the votes in the mountain, almost 4 million. President Ruto, is now the chest thumping that you see Senator Cherargei with is because of ODM support. And they believe that they will get the support of ODM. That is why he's saying it's a sure bet. But, and I think I had indicated it before, Trevor, listen to what Sifuna is saying.
Senator Nyutu has raised concerns over what he perceived as selective actions by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission (NCIC), urging the agency to uphold impartiality as Kenyans approach the 2027 general election. Speaking during an interview on Citizen TV Daybreak Show, Nyutu expressed dissatisfaction with how the commission handles political alterations, accusing it of targeting some leaders while ignoring those who have made proactive remarks. The senator cited a recent statement by politicians suggesting that the outcome of the 2027 election might not be determined purely by the will of people or democratic progress. He insisted that if the NCIC was committed to justice and fairness, it should summon all individuals who have made such controversial claims, including MP William Kamket and Oscar Sudi, not just select the few. According to Nyutu, any remarks that suggest the subversion of democratic norm should be thoroughly investigated, regardless of the political affiliation of those involved. Turning his attention to the political dynamics within the ruling coalition, Nyutu offered a candid assessment on President Ruto's re-election strategy. He observed that Ruto's path to securing the second term appeared heavily reliant on the support of the ODM party Raila Odinga, a move he found risky. In his analysis, Nyutu urged that while President Ruto may be engaging with senior ODM figures as part of his broader political strategy, he should be cautious about who counsels he takes seriously. Nyutu pointed out that Oburu Odinga, a long-serving politician and the elder brother to Raila Odinga, may not be the most suitable political advisor for the president due to what he described as Oburu's vested interest in the existing government arrangement. Instead, he suggests that Edwin Sifuna, the ODM Secretary General, represent a more grounded and politically influent voice within the party, implying that Ruto would gain more credible insight by listening to him rather than figures benefiting from political patronage. The senator did not stop there. He made a bold prediction regarding the upcoming general election, saying that the 2027 could mark the end of President Ruto's winning streak. While acknowledging Ruto's impressive political track record, having never lost an election since 1982, Nyutu predicted that the tide is set to turn. In his view, the growing dissatisfaction among certain voters bloc, along with the shifting political alienation and economic frustration, could see Ruto face unprecedented electoral challenge.
We must say, because I've listened very keenly to Senator Cherargei, and I don't interrupt people when they are talking, even when they tear me apart. I mean, he has said that those of us that are on this other side, that we are sensing defeat, that Ruto's re-election is a sure bet. Trevor, Senator Cherargei is a smart person. He is a trained lawyer. He can be able to do some calculations. Where will President Ruto get the votes? President Ruto won over Raila Odinga by a margin of about 200 and something thousand votes. President Ruto has lost all the votes in the mountain, almost 4 million. President Ruto, you know, is now, and the chest thumping that you see Senator Cherargei with is because of ODM support. And they believe that they will get the support of ODM. That is why he's saying it's a sure bet. But, and I think I had indicated it before, Trevor, listen to what Sifuna is saying. If I were Cherargei, if I were President Ruto, I would get very worried. I would not celebrate what I hear from Oburu Odinga, for example, and I have a lot of respect for Oburu Odinga, but Oburu Odinga is already a big beneficiary of the broad-based government. I would not listen very keenly to Oburu Odinga.
What is the difference? Oburu?
No. Oburu Odinga's son has already been appointed as an advisor of William Ruto. Oburu Odinga, there are rumors. These are unconfirmed, and if they are not true.
Rumors here. What I'm trying.
Okay, yes, he is a beneficiary. He's a beneficiary. The son, following
the president to listen to Sifuna, but not to Oburu.
Yes, to Sifuna. Yes, that's what I was going to explain. That Sifuna has not directly benefited from this broad-based government, and therefore he is, you know, more realistic in his assessment. So when Sifuna tells you that Ruto will lose with or without Raila. Sifuna has said that.
Why is it when
Sifuna tells you, Sifuna is the Secretary General of ODM. When Sifuna tells you that ODM will be fronting a presidential candidate in 2027, I think if I were Ruto, if I were Cherargei, I would listen more to the Secretary General of a party than other leaders who are direct beneficiaries of the party. Of course, you can see my friend Atadi these days attends all the rallies. Where the government is and supports this broad-based government. Of course, we know he has been able to get the seat that was occupied by Dendi Nyoro. So such people, if you listen to the CSs, of course there are people who are already in that government. Listen to somebody independent like Sifuna. So what I'm saying is, when Cherargei says that Ruto's re-election is a sure bet, where is he going to get the votes? And that's why Ruto is very mad again with Natembeya. Because Natembeya is consolidating the Luhya vote. And I can tell you, Ruto has no votes in Luhya land. Ruto has lost all the votes in the mountain. And so, elected by who? And Raila will either be running or there will be a presidential candidate from ODM. Ruto will not garner even more than 2 million votes. So, when you say his election is sure bet.
Expulsion and the seat being declared vacant.
Before I get into that, Trevor, allow me to say that I'm very disappointed with Senator Cherargei because Senator Cherargei has become a professional flip-flopper. You know, he has said that, you remember him in this show, saying that Kalonzo has never been president because if his advisors are the likes of Senator Manzo, then he can never be president. Then he comes back from the time. He says that actually Senator Manzo is a very good advisor. He is the type that should be advising Rigiji. You can actually see the contradiction with Senator Cherargei, a lawyer of high standing. So Senator Cherargei, even as you support the government, and I know you don't support this government from your heart, but because it's politically expedient for Nandi politics, it's good to take care of your interests. But But please don't be such, a flip-flopper because you could end up embarrassing yourself. That you say somebody is a poor advisor in one instance, when you come back you say he's the best advisor ever because he has said what you want to hear. He keeps saying that, Ruto was the track record is clear. He has mentioned affordable housing, the launch and the handover of those units and the happiness in the people that were handed over these houses. But let me remind Senator Cherargei that if they were actually handed these houses, because, President Ruto is a very good marketer, if they were handed, I think we will do some research and see how many were handed these houses. If those faces were happy, thank you, they were happy. But behind those happy faces, happy in quotes, those happy faces, they are very sad payslip holders, which is something that Senator Cherargei does not want to talk about. So there are some very sad, crying, payslip holders. There are UHC health workers in the streets of Kenya. And now that he's talking about the track record, and I believe health is much better than, of course, where you live. And I'm not trying to say that people should not be given affordable housing. So when he's talking about a track record of William Ruto, let him also look at these rights. Let him also address the violation of human rights that President Ruto has perpetrated. Abductions, killings, and also the intolerance of President William Ruto. And the case we are talking about, which I'm coming to, of Gloria Oroba, is a laying, example on the intolerance of President Ruto, and not just Senator Gloria Oroba. With the intolerance of President Ruto. And I'm saying this because he has talked about a track record that will earn President Ruto, and Senator Cherargei is thinking a re-election. These are also issues. It is not only Senator Gloria Oroba who displays, Ruto's intolerance. Look at the people who brought him to the mountain. Rigathi Gachagua, Ndindi Nyoro, Mithika Linturi, Justin Muturi, Moses Kuria. All these people have been kicked out by President Ruto because of his intolerance. And so even as you talk about the track record, know that there are so many underlying issues that are much, much, much more important in the minds and thinking of Kenyans. And we wish that this matter will be sorted in 2027. He says President Ruto has never lost an election. True. Of course, he has never lost an election. He will lose the first one in 2027. There is always a first time. So it doesn't necessarily follow that because you have never lost an election, that now you will never, ever lose an election again. Senator Cherargei will be here. May God keep us so that you can see President Ruto losing the first election, the most critical, I think, in his life.